Welcome. In this hefty little box, I have the brand new Lenovo LEGION Go that has just dropped in, well, where I am, which is Poland. And that is about a week or a couple of weeks later than what US got it from. So anyway, let's get straight into it. This is going to be unboxing along with a quick look at it. I'm not going to focus too much on it just because it is basically a full computer. So there is way too much to actually talk about in terms of like all its features and all that stuff. So this is just going to be a quick look, and I'm going to talk about just the most important aspect of it. So anyway, I just get straight into it. In here, we get the case that comes with the device and the device already being inside of it. It is a hard shell with a nice little loop to hold it. I'm going to set it to the side because we have a couple additional things in here. We have whatever this is, so it looks like just a protective layer along with some information about the device. Not very important. Under that, we got some Lenovo Premium Care. Okay, whatever. Below that, instruction. And then here we get the charger. Oh, that's how it opens. So there's the charger. This is going to be a pretty, I believe, decent charger. I'm gonna look at it later. Let's just get rid of this so we have a little bit more space. I'm getting into the package. We are presented with the device itself. So we do have some more area right here. This is empty inside. It just provides more cushioning, so if you would drop it, the force of it wouldn't actually be hitting anything. It would just kind of like sunk in a little bit. Then we get whatever this is, Legion Space. This is supposed to be a cleaning cloth for the display. Anyway, got this nice pull tab right here so you can easily take it out. Oh, and below that we have the puck for one of the controllers, because you can use this as a mouse. And we're getting into the device. It does feel really nice, I have to say. Just checking it out. So anyway, I'm gonna also take that out, close it, and just, again, eat that on the ground. So let's boot it up so we can see the display. Come on. Do we need to charge it? Or is that another power button? Okay, it looks like I might need to charge it. So let's do that right now. Oh, come on, how much Velcro do you need? Okay. Okay, it's booting up. So you do have a little bit of an RGB lighting around the sticks. Anyway, let's just jump into the specs of this device, which I'm gonna grab my mouse. Now, that being said, I'm gonna start off by saying that this device is very similar to the not Lenovo. What am I thinking of? Okay, am I stupid and I don't know how to turn that on? Very similar to the Asus ROG Ally, that's what it was. So it has the same processor as that device. Now the benefit over the Ally is the fact that this one has a bigger battery. So if I remember correctly, this one has a 48-hour watt-hour battery, meaning it should last a little bit longer. Now it doesn't really do anything extra with that, so in terms of the speeds and all that stuff, it's going to be the same, even though it could push that processor harder than the Ally did. There we go. Now it is in Polish, so I'm gonna see if I can change the language. But that being said, let's talk about the display, which is a massive display that is being blown out by the camera right now. Can I maybe change the brightness here quickly? Doesn't look like it. So sorry for the blown out aspect of it right now. Let's see. Oh no, no, no. I mean, region is whatever. I would like to change the language. Maybe I can do it on the next page. Let's see. I guess I can. Anyway, so it looks like this device here comes with just one language, which is quite annoying. So in my case, I would need to finish up the setup, and then once it's finished, I would then need to add the language through settings. So you know what, I'm not gonna really do that. I absolutely hate that it comes pre-installed with Windows 11, just because I hate this dog shit system. It is obviously the optimal one, probably. I would probably want to flash this with the one that Steam Deck runs, just because I absolutely effing hate Windows, and specifically 11. I despise the fact that I cannot finish up the setup without actually connecting to Wi-Fi. Like, what the f is this design? Go F yourself with this stupid thing. There's no reason why I should be forced to connect to network. Let's be honest. So anyway, let's talk about the display. Now, I'm not sure if that was visible on the camera, but this display is smooth. It is 144 Hz smooth. So it is an 8-inch display, if I remember correctly, 8.8 exactly, running a resolution of 2560 by 1600. Now this is way more refresh rate and resolution than this tiny little processor Z1 Extreme can push. It is a powerful processor for this kind of handheld form factor, but it is not powerful enough to allow you to game at 144 Hz at basically 2K resolution. So if you're thinking of doing so, this will not allow you to. It might be able to do such a thing for some like super low performance indie games that won't really require much power. But if you're planning to play AAA games, you basically will be playing it at either 1080p or even 720p, and that will be running at maybe 60 to 90 Hz, I would assume. Basically, the performance is exactly the same or very close to the ROG Ally with a bigger battery. Now, continuing on, this device comes with 16 gigabytes of LPDDR5X RAM. It has a 512 gigabyte SSD NVMe disk in here. Obviously, touch display running 144 Hz refresh rate on an 8.8 inch display, 2K resolution. And then we have a Wi-Fi and Bluetooth 5.2 in here, so it's going to be a little bit more power efficient. And let's see what else we get to say about this device. Running Android 11, which is like, that's what I got for it. And the benefit over the Z1, or not Z1, the ROG Ally will be the fact that we can detach these controllers. Now we do so by, assume, pressing these buttons right here. This is the first time I'm actually using this, so let's try it. Yep, there we go. So you press it and pull it down, and they pop off. Now additionally, this itself is a pretty sweet little tablet that basically, well, becomes a tablet once you detach these things. And it is a full-fledged computer that you can just take on a go. It's almost small enough to fit into the pocket and powerful enough to do a lot of things, including gaming. Additionally, we do have a kickstand right here that I can flip, like so. So I can place it up in a standing position. and let's see how far it goes. Okay, yeah, that's as far as it goes, as you can see. So it is in a really reclined position. And when it comes to the controllers, you could use them as they are right now, detached like this, and they will still work. They do have a small battery inside, but additionally, the right controller has some gimmicky looking things on here. So you can see we do have this right here, and we have the buttons sideways, which if you compare it to the other one, as you can see, they look a little bit different. And we also have these ones right here, M1 and M2. So these are mouse clicks. And then this is our scroll wheel. Not sure why these are now sideways. It is a mouse 3 button right here. So I assume I would hold it like this. Bit odd. Anyway, let's grab the stand for it. Now it is magnetic, and it does actually hold pretty well. That was one of my concerns. Might not always sit correctly, as you can see, but once you place it down, it should be fine. It does give you, if I move it out of the way, it does give you this palm rest area. So when you hold it, it actually just holds. Now this is, how am I supposed to hold this, to be completely honest? Because it is not. Oh, okay, so this button goes all the way down to here. So I guess I would use it like this. So my thumb presses the mouse button 3, and then I can press these two separately. Now the thing that kind of becomes a little bit uncomfortable is the scroll wheel right here. It is a little bit too high, but it needed to be kind of out of the way, so when you're actually holding it in a normal way like this, when it's part of the device, it doesn't get in the way. Because in logical usability standpoint, it would be more comfortable to have it somewhere around here, but one of your fingers would be resting right here, so obviously not a very good place. But in general, this will be something that you might need to get used to. It is a good addition that you can utilize for this, and it works really well. It's basically because I actually didn't say, it is basically a mouse, a wireless one. Which, let's see how it works. Now we do need to turn it on right here. Do I need to do any kind of setup? Come on. I guess it will not work till I finish up the setup. So that's a little bit of a shame. Again, the shitty design of Windows 11, like, screw this system. So, anyway, this was just a quick overview of this device. Like I said, there is way more to this. It is a full-fledged computer and a gaming console in a way, which gives you a lot of versatility. The fact that it can just actually detach the display itself from the controllers, this gives you a lot of versatility, and itself, the package itself wasn't the screen with the computer inside, is powerful enough to allow you to game, and you could technically connect normal things like keyboards and the actual mouse, for instance like this one, to it. Now keep in mind, there is a limited amount of ports, so we do have an SD card. Let's actually talk about the ports, because I haven't done so. So we do have our Type-C port right here, and there's also another one at the bottom, so you can choose where you want to charge it from, wherever would be more convenient for you. We have a micro SD card, volume rockers, power button, headphone jack, and then, like I mentioned, at the bottom we do have the charging port. Then on the sides we just have the connections for the controllers, which you connect pretty easily once you actually get it in there. There we go. So once it's correctly seated, you just kind of push it up, clicks into place. Now let's see if there's any kind of, there is auditory cue, you can hear it click into place, but let's see this button. Okay, so you can see it kind of like flip into place. And same thing will be for this one. Let's just turn off the FPS mode though, although it's not like it's working. So you start from the bottom and push it up. Now this one was barely hearable, and there we go. Once they're on there, they actually hold pretty well. There is not much flex to it, and the size of them actually makes it very comfortable to hold this device, unlike some other ones which have much thinner design of these controllers, however you want to call it. The edges, you get a full like grip around it, which obviously makes it much more comfortable to hold. Now in terms of the controllers themselves, we have a trackpad on our right controller. We have our thumbsticks right here, the X, Y, A and B buttons, the menu buttons, and D-pad. Now I'm not necessarily too like good at fighting games, so I don't know how well this one works. For like just basic games where it uses it to switch something, it's fine, it's tactile, but if you want to like roll it, it doesn't really feel like it's too good for it. And then we have a couple more buttons for our windows. And like I mentioned before, we do have several buttons on the controllers themselves, like the M1 M2, which will be utilized for your mouse. We also have our triggers. So these are pressure sensitive, so it's not like on off. It's basically if you have a throttle, it will basically measure in percentages, so that's pretty good. We have our buttons, left and right, upper one. Yeah, and that's it. Now, one thing that I want to point out, for me at least, when I'm holding this, I'm not sure if this is designed by like this intentionally or not, but when I'm holding it, basically with my like hands, I am pressing the M2 button right here. I don't know if it does have any kind of functions when it's not in mouse mode, but it's every time I kind of like grab it, I am pressing this button easily. It's literally right here, like under my where I would normally be pressing it. So any kind of like shift, like, you know, repositioning, so I want to grab it a little bit more firmly, we'll press it, which might not be the intended like design. Also, one thing that I want to point out, the difference between these buttons. So on the left controllers, the, what is it, M1, no wait, that's Y1 and Y2 are positioned vertically, while the M2 and Y3, I think it is positioned vertically, or horizontally, I mean. So it's not symmetrical because of it. And again, most of these buttons are being pressed by me unintentionally. These ones on the left one, I don't have to press intentionally, right? I only press them when I actually want to, and I do have a pretty firm grip. Now if I try to hold it one hand, obviously I will press them just because they are kind of under my fingers. But these, no matter how I hold it, I will always be pressing multiple of them because my middle finger just kind of wraps around them, literally around them. And then the index one, like the beginning of it, just keeps pressing the mouse 2 button. So hopefully that won't have any kind of impact in gaming and won't be like pressing random buttons. I hope these are deactivated or deactivatable, because they're not very convenient, at least for how I'm holding it and me pressing them constantly without actually wanting to press them. So there we go. That's the console computer. It is a pretty nice piece of tech. The only thing that it's lacking, in my opinion, because it is virtually the same thing as the ROG Ally. The ROG Ally has the benefit of having their like proprietary GPUs. So you can buy a separate GPU, plug it in with the connector that it comes with, and basically use the Z1 Extreme as just a processor, and then use the dedicated GPU that you can plug in as just the GPU, giving you stupid amount of additional power that you previously didn't have. Here we don't have that, so we are only relying on the Z1 Extreme as the GPU and CPU processor, and we cannot offload the load, unless some people might try it using the Type-C if they are Thunderbolt compatible. I don't know, could be. That's something that you need to look into, but in general, as a on-the-go device without additional GPU, this will be a fantastic one. It looks like it's way better ventilated than the ROG Ally, has a bigger battery, while still giving you the same amount of performance as that device. So there we go. Now, hopefully you found this video helpful. I do kind of geek out about this kind of things. I like the ROG, and I do like this one, the Legion Go. They both are a pretty sweet pieces of tech. The only problem that I see coming is the lack of optimizations from games. So just kind of pointing that out. We recently got Alan Wake, and most of these devices are already running on fumes when it comes down to AAA gamings, and that was when it was optimized. Now most of the new games require you to basically upscale with DLSS or FSR, and also use frame generation to get respectable frame rate. This is not what I would consider that this technology was intended for, but the shady lazy ass developers basically utilize this to basically offload the optimizations of games. So instead of optimizing it, they just slap on the FSR, cool, frame generation, yeah, let's go, and we're good to go, no optimization needed. Now with a device like that doesn't support frame generation, as far as I know, not exactly sure what this is it Intel? No, that's AMD, what am I saying? So it should use, FSR? So it is possible that it might get the frame generation. So keep in mind, this kind of tech is good when you're already getting good frame rate. It makes it better if you're getting like 30, 20 frames. Alan Wake, probably not even that. You could probably turn that down to like the potato quality and still get like 15 frames most likely. So yeah, 15, double that, you get, wow, 30 frames with artifacting all over the place, just because you're not really getting much frame rate. This is not going to be a very good device for high demanding games, and the laziness and basically cost cutting from optimizations of games is going to affect these kind of devices altogether, which is not good, I would say. I would really like these devices to, thrive and just kind of be good, and they are, but the gaming is getting worse in general, especially the optimization for it, and it's kind of cutting out these devices from being viable for AAA gaming. If most developers just cut costs, don't optimize, you with your nice little computer that is fairly capable, it won't be able to run these games just because they're so poorly optimized. So just kind of wanted to point that out. It does suck, but it is a very important thing to mention when looking for a device like that, and especially if you have already experienced the absolute shit show that is the optimization of current games. Anyway, if you found this rant fun, helpful, don't forget to smash like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.